Did you know your phone may be better at reading you than your own family? The irony is that our ancestors lived their entire lives without so much as a door to close. Yet they understood one another in ways modern algorithms could only dream of matching. This reversal between past and present may be one of the keys to understanding who we really are. Travel back in time and picture a fire, with somewhere between 15 and 50 people living together around it, with no walls and no doors. Every emotion, from joyful laughter to bitter arguments, unfolded in full view of everyone. Do not mistake this for some harsh condition imposed on the weak. For nearly 290,000 years, this was the human standard for survival. Here is an important detail that is often overlooked. This life without privacy was not something forced upon the vulnerable or the poor. The most skilled hunters, the most respected elders, even the people held in the highest regard by the entire group, all shared the same living space. Privacy was not a privilege to strive for. It was simply a concept that had never existed in their minds. So what did they use instead of walls? Researchers who once lived among the Hadza people in Tanzania recorded 3 unwritten rules, as powerful as laws that never needed to be written down. The first rule was tied to timing. When the fire faded and darkness settled over the camp, the entire group would quietly shift in perfect understanding, without anyone needing to say a word. Distance was the second rule. In the dark, stepping away from the group happened naturally, without explanation or permission. Once someone moved beyond the circle of firelight, they were silently treated as invisible. And in that world, being invisible meant being untouchable. The third rule was the height of subtlety: silence. It was the active silence of people who understood exactly what was happening, but chose to look away in order to protect someone else's private space. Darkness became a sacred signal, quietly agreed upon and respected by the entire group. Do not think this belonged to one tribe alone. From the Philippines to Paraguay to Central Africa, this was one of the most common ways our ancestors lived. And look at us today, even now. In Vietnam or India, many families still live with 3 generations in a single room. That closeness was never a sign of lacking love. If anything, it was a sign of deep and lasting connection. Then, around 10,000 years ago, a great turning point changed the fate of our species. We learned how to farm. Tying ourselves to fields meant settling down, and settling down meant building. From those efforts, something humanity had never truly known before was born: a real door that could actually close. Yet there was a darker side that few people talk about. This was not simply a gift. It was a trade-off that reshaped an entire era. At a 9,000-year-old settlement in Turkey, archaeologists uncovered a remarkable truth as the first walls rose and divided people into separate spaces. Personal conflicts also began to intensify. Walls did not merely protect us. For the first time in history, they also gave people something to steal from one another. Even after humans learned to build walls, a private room remained an extraordinary luxury. In medieval Europe, entire extended families still lived together in a single room. Travelers at roadside inns often had to share beds with complete strangers. And even today, siblings sharing a bedroom remains perfectly normal in millions of homes around the world. It is not necessarily a sign of deprivation. It is simply a way of living closely together, built around connection. The private bedroom, something most of us now take for granted, only became a normal part of everyday life around the 1920s. Consider the bigger picture across 300,000 years of human existence. This kind of private space accounts for less than 1,000th of our story. And within that tiny blink of evolutionary time, an unprecedented transformation began. Here is the turning point few people recognize. We gained private rooms, our ancestors could never have dreamed of. Yet at the same time, we quietly opened another door, one made of glass and lines of code, allowing complete strangers to walk straight into our lives. Right now, apps are quietly tracking every step you take, every shopping preference, every moment you pause on an image, even the subtle shifts in your mood throughout the day. No ancestor in human history ever knew this much about a single person. Ancient humans may have lacked walls separating them from the people sitting beside them around the fire. But we are losing something far more valuable: our habits, our behaviors, even the deepest corners of our inner world, placed in the hands of companies we may never have the chance to meet. So what does it really mean to lose privacy? Put the two worlds side by side. On one side is a tribe that knew nearly every detail of your life, yet never used that knowledge to harm you. On the other are algorithms that do not know who you are as a person, yet know exactly what you like, how you behave, how your mood changes, and what keeps your eyes locked on your phone long past midnight. To see this reversal clearly, imagine a map with two axes, one measuring privacy, the other measuring emotional connection. The ancient world sits in one corner, where privacy was nearly zero, yet connection reached its peak. In the opposite corner is the private bedroom of the 1920s, where privacy rose while connection began to fade. And today, we are sliding into a deeply paradoxical corner. Physical privacy is high. Digital privacy has nearly vanished, and the bonds connecting us continue to shrink. The people who lived without privacy for 290,000 years once had hundreds of words to describe the precise relationships between one person and another. We, meanwhile, have created names for more than 100 different kinds of rooms, yet still struggle to name the emptiness we feel while sitting alone inside one of them. Here's the final piece of the puzzle: the question few of us ever truly take the time to consider. What are we supposed to do in a world filled with walls and smartphones? There are three small lessons, drawn from the deep bonds of ancient communities, that we can still bring into modern life today. First, rebuild a circle of your own, a regular meal, a recurring conversation, a place where a small group of people consistently understands you and shares life with you, much like our ancestors once did. Second, learn to protect your digital boundaries the same way you lock your front door. Turn off unnecessary tracking features and treat your personal data with the same instinct for privacy that our ancestors once used to protect shared space. Finally, value the common spaces in your neighborhood: a garden, a community table, or simply a chair on the front porch. Places where people actually stop, look at one another, and talk. These are the modern echoes of the 15-meter circle humans were always meant to belong to. Our ancestors built connection directly through one another because they had no doors to close. We, instead of building walls to protect connection, may have made the mistake of protecting the walls themselves while allowing the people we love to drift farther away. Perhaps the next room we need to build should not be made of brick and stone, nor of cold lines of code. Perhaps it should be built from honesty about the things we truly value and long for. Faced with that choice, which world would you rather belong to? One that knows everything about you but never leaves you feeling alone, or one filled with locks and solid walls, yet somehow turns us into the loneliest generation in human history? Share your answer from the heart in the comments below. We would truly love to hear what you think.